Okay, so Midas, right? A new Entertainment Squad joint, and they sent it to me just the other day. It is directed by TJ Noel-Sullivan. TJ also wrote the film. It is produced by TJ, Christina Kulo, and Eric Blomquist. Executive produced by Joseph Young Jr. Isabel Berlin Garco took care of the music. Mike Curry, cinematography. Ian Googe was production design. Eric Googe Rochester was art direction. Hair and makeup, we have Josiah Larano and Janelle Larano. And our cast, well, we have got Ricky Pryce, who is played by Laquan Copeland. Ricky's mother, Maya, is played by Joanne Cleghorne. And his sister, Destiny, is played by Kendall Grace Davis. We then have got Ricky's friends, right? There's Sanita Gia Arora, who is played by Preet Kaur, and her boyfriend, and also Ricky's friend, Victor Rojas, played by Federico Parra. Right, we've got Ricky's boss, Gregory Brent, right, played by Bob Gallagher. Now Gregory has a daughter, Claire, played by Lucy Powers, and also his nephew. Yeah, I think it's his nephew, Tom, who is Ricky's actual boss. Gregory owns the business, right? Tom is played by Eric Blomquist. Who else do we have? We have Karen Bryant, played by Marika Kuzma, right? There is the waitress that works with Sanita at her other job. She's played by Shannon Fish. We've got Michelle, played by Kitty Robertson. And we've got the woman in claims, played by Christine Blanchard. Right, we've got the other claims person is Francis McGinney. The security guard is played by Rob Santos. That's probably our main group of people. And the story is, after a charismatic college dropout lies his way into a job and insurance juggernaut, he recruits his two best friends for a plot to steal thousands. In the process, they uncover a much darker scheme that tests the limits of their greed. So, Midas, I wasn't sure what to expect coming into this, right? It is actually the feature directorial debut from TJ Noel-Sullivan. And this is very slick. It's very slick, very well put together, right? It's like one of them films, God, I think there was a film called Confidence. It was like all on this hustle. I think it was called Confidence. I believe it was, right? And it was all this whole kind of con artist hustle situation. And you have these really slick cuts and everything, great lighting. And this very much reminded me of that, right? It's put together like one of those films, like an Ocean's 11, that kind of thing. It's basically Ricky, he's, he had to drop out of uni because of his mum's ill, right? She's got cancer. So he's helping, try and make sure she's okay, supporting her, his sister, and just all of that jazz. Now his friend Victor has just, he's both of them, Victor and Sunita, have both graduated. Victor is going to work for Facebook, and Sunita has a job at Midas. It's entry level though. She's in the post room, but she's hoping that will get her into claims, right? That's what she does. Now, they persuade Ricky to come to a party. Victor wants to introduce Ricky to Claire, a girl he knows, right? Now, at this party, Ricky meets Claire's dad, who owns Midas, right? And gets offered a job. So it's all of but everything is based on lies, right? Everything is based on lies. So it's just, can he keep this up? How long before everyone finds out, right? It's one of those kind of situations, And I think that's where things get a little, you know what I mean? Because the lies make no sense, right? Now, when I say the lies make no sense, I mean, right, if you told someone that you have a degree, right, and it's from a university that they went to, you know what I mean? You were in a house that they were a part of. It's all very much likely it's going to fall apart because they, even if they're not necessarily checking up on you, right? Is this true? Right? Even if they're not doing that, they might be having a conversation with another friend, right? From the spot. And be like, oh, we've just employed Ricky. Yeah, man, he was in our house. And they'll be like, yeah, no, that's not true. That didn't happen. What? So, you know what I mean? That's where it all kind of falls apart a bit. And you really have to, obviously, with these kind of things, it is a suspension of belief, right? But then there's levels of, right? And so with all of this, you have to do that because that makes no sense. And also, you start at work, they want to see your information, right? They want to see your information. So how are you going to show them that? How are you going to show them that? Also, your name goes into the system and it's possibly going to flag up that, you know what I mean? Your relations may have been there, right? So there's this whole part of the story that does not hold up to a big gust of wind. You know what I mean? So that's the issue, right? I think what TJ has done with this is very good. It shows so much promise for the guy. You know what I mean? Where it all falls down is some of the script. Now, the acting was very good. Oh my gosh, right? And from the look of it, I believe Laquan Copeland, Preet Kaur, Federico Parra, Lucy Powers, right? They're all in the early stages of their career. This is like either their second or third film. I think with Federico, this might be his first. And they do a very good job of breathing life into these characters. You do buy all of these things, right? You buy the relationship between Sunita and Victor. You buy the friendship between Ricky, Sunita, and Victor. All of that. All like Lucy is very good with Claire. I think you don't necessarily buy the relationship between Claire and Ricky, just because it's just like, why? Right? We don't really see enough or anything from the interactions that would go, yes, they're going on multiple dates, right? That kind of thing. But, Bob Gallagher is very good. Eric Bloomquist, you know what I mean? Everyone does a really, really good job with their role and that type of character, So that is, boom, that's fantastic. There is a part in the film where Sunita has to run. And a lot of times people don't look like they've run. They did actually make it look kind of believable. She did look a little bit messy, right? It did look like she may have exerted herself a bit. So that's all good, right? Those kind of details were very good. I do feel bad, right? I do really feel bad for poor old Kendall Grace Davis, because Destiny really doesn't have much to do in this film. Really doesn't have. If you remove that character, the film's pretty much the same. Even the very bit at the end, you could probably get around that, right? So I feel bad for her, but what little screen time and things she does have to do, she does do it well. She does do it well. The end, the end did feel a bit like, fuck, how do we get ourselves out of this corner, right? Kind of thing, because it doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. Right? It doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense. It's very, it's one of those things where for it all to happen, it's depending on like these little bits. And you're just like, I don't know about that. Right? We have this whole thing, I've talked about it in the past, like how easy it is to knock people out. Right? When in real life, it's not as easy as just a little bang on the head is going to put someone out and out for a while. You know what I mean? Right? So we have all of that, but it's all about, explaining something to someone and then them agreeing. Right? Especially when that someone's been lied to throughout. Right? There is that thing as well with the lies of, right, if you want people to help you, why aren't you giving them all the information? Right? It doesn't really make any sense not to. There's no legitimate reason not to either. So those aspects of the story, of the script, are where this film gets a little shaky. Right? That's where it gets a little messy. But other than that, this is, as I say, this is really solid. This is very well put together. I think I saw somewhere. Let's see if I can find it. Dum 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 dum. It's okay. So it's saying TJ said about the film, right, that got put together. Well, no, sorry, it wasn't TJ. It's it was Shakad Benson, who runs Entertainment Squad. Midas combines thrilling heist action with a sharp critique of health insurance injustices, making it a must-watch for those who appreciate film that entertain and challenge the status quo. And, I mean, it does shine that light, right, on the shady business of that kind of thing. I think it is stuff we've seen in a lot of films recently dealing with opioids and all of that. But it is something that, shows this thing, right, which companies do. You also, I think you look at Ricky. Ricky is a bit of a shit. Right? Ricky is a bit of a bad friend. You know what I mean? In what he's expecting his friends to do for him. You know what I mean? There is that. Ricky don't come off looking great. But if you were looking for something kind of sharp, something slick, something fun to watch, yeah, I think you'd enjoy Midas, right? It's only like 80, I think it's like 85 minutes. So it's not long, which is good, right? There's sometimes these things overstay their welcome and they're just a bit like, if that was just a bit shorter, it would have been fantastic. But no. It was just the right length. Just the right length. So yeah, as I said, like if you enjoy things like Confidence, like the Ocean's films, right, that kind of jazz. Now, not to say that it's quite on that level, but it is fun. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you enjoy those films, then I'm sure that Midas will work for you, and you'll be able to find it from Friday on all your favorite VODs.